Hi guys, it's Brady again from Freedom Physical Therapy. We're going to do another workout today. I tailored this workout. We're in our third week of a 4-week workout live video feed, and this week I wanted to focus on what you should do if you're really sore. So if you've been following a workout plan, or if you've been doing the workouts we've been giving you, and your schedule is that you work out 3 to 5 days a week and you have off days occasionally during the week. I'm a big fan of being active every day, finding a way to be active every day. Even if you're sore, you should give yourself some rest, but there is such thing as active recovery workouts, and that's kind of what we're going to go over today. So today's workout is not going to be as intense, but it is going to be something that you can do to get your heart rate up on the days that you're supposed to be resting without putting too much of a toll on your body. So we're going to get right into it. Same thing as always. So even though we're in our off day, we're still going to do a proper warm-up. We're going to get our blood flowing, and we're going to do that like we did in the previous videos. We're going to start with high knees and high marching, and we're going to go for 30 seconds. And again, if high knees isn't getting your heart rate going up fast enough, you can always use a step, do some step ups at home, okay? And you control the cadence. And you're just gonna choose a warm up according to your activity level. If you're a little bit more advanced and you wanna kinda do more of a toe touch on your step, you can do that. Or if you have the option to go up and over on a step like this, if you have something, you can kind of do side steps just to give a little bit of a different motion, mix things up. If you want to increase the speed on this one, you can do that too. Once our 30 seconds is up, we're going to give ourselves a rest. Next exercise we're going to do for our warm-up, we're going to get the arms going, get the upper body going, just do some arm circles. Again, we've done these in previous videos. They're just a nice way to get the body going, telling it that it's going to see some work. Proper warm-up every time is going to reduce the chance of injury, and just get your muscles loose and you'll feel better during your workout. And you'll find that if you're doing resistance training or heavier weightlifting, that you'll be able to get through some of your warm-up sets a little faster, and you'll be able to hit your heavier lifts with less strain on your body. All right, give yourself a little rest too after 30 seconds there. And after that, we're just going to go some cross-body arm hugs. Break one more time, and then we're going to go back to our high knee marches, our step overs, our jogging in place, whatever you're going to do to get that lower body moving. So again, as we go through this workout, same advice I give in every video. If anything hurts or you're having a really tough time with it, don't feel like you have to go through with it just because I'm telling you to. Make sure that if you are feeling sore or sharp pains, that you are seeing a doctor, physical therapist, or health professional to figure out why you're having those pains in those positions. Bring them back to arm circles. Again, by my second or third round of the warm-up, well, we should be feeling like we're breathing a little bit, like our heart rate's going a little faster. Our body temperature is raising a little bit. Go backwards on the arm circles. Get both motions going. You can go big, you can go nice and small, just as long as you're moving. All right, we're gonna go right into arm huggers. So as you can see, it's a really simple warm-up. I went through 2 rounds. I feel like my joints and my muscles are ready to go right in to the workout today. If your joints and your muscles aren't ready yet, and you'll know if you're still a little creaky in some joints, or if you're feeling some initial soreness, go run through that warm-up circuit for 2 to 3 more times, 30 seconds each exercise until you're ready to go. So we're gonna get rid of our step. And the first exercise we're gonna do is an assisted squat. So I'm gonna use a sturdy band. So this is a cloth or a nylon band, and it doesn't have any give in it, so it's gonna give me some full support. If you don't have one of these, you can feel free to use a chair, something sturdy that's gonna give you the support you need to get into a deep squat, because that's what we're really working on today. A full range of motion in our squat. So we're not gonna do a ton of squats, but we are gonna kind of hold them, and we're gonna stay down in that position for just a few seconds on each rep. So I'm using an anchor and then my rope or my band, and I'm gonna get shoulder width apart with my feet, and I'm gonna get into as deep of a squat as I can go. So using the band to keep my upper body kind of upright, and if it helps, you can look up, and I'm gonna sit in my squat for 5 to 10 seconds, right? If we need to use your elbows to kind of push your knees slightly apart, you can do that to get a little stretch in the inside of your leg. But we're just going to focus on kind of getting comfortable down in our squat. So if this low hurts, feel free to go up a little higher and kind of hold it, but you want to test kind of your joints here, because you are getting that assistance. How comfortable can you get in this low position? And so we're working on here just how deep can you go in your squat, so that when you are using weight, that you can get down in proper form and use proper technique. Right. And we're going to do 5 total here. Again, focusing on how deep we can go. And just kind of relaxing down here, staying upright if we can. Got one more extended hold squat. Again, I'm using the I'm using this to help me stay upright, okay? Really testing, making sure my knees and my hips are feeling okay. All right, come back up. All right. So after we've done some squatting and we've warmed up, we're gonna go onto the ground and we're gonna do an exercise called windshield wipers. So I'm going to get knee to the bottom of my foot on either side. You can start with your right or left side, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna start with some support. So my hand here is gonna support here, and I might support a little bit on the back side with my left hand. And I'm gonna go from that position to a position where my right knee is in front of my left foot, and I'm using my left hand now for a little bit of support. And I'm gonna go back to where my left knee is behind my right foot, and it's flat, right? I'm just gonna work on going back and forth. We're opening up the hips here and closing one hip and opening up the other one. All right. And this constant movement, it shouldn't hurt, is just going to allow us to gain a little mobility through our hips. If you want to challenge yourself in this position, you can try to go no support, okay? And activate a little bit more of your core. But when you're starting out, focus on just getting range of motion, feeling your way through this motion. And as you get to the end of this exercise, it should be a little bit easier, maybe less painful to get through this motion. And if you are feeling sharp pains anywhere, you should stop this exercise and consult somebody to see what's going on. So now that we've gone through that exercise, we're going to do some rows. So you'll need, I'm using a 10-pound dumbbell. You can use something a little heavier at home. Just find an object that weighs roughly 5 to 15 pounds. We're going to do the bent over row variation. So you can choose to have a support, whether that's a chair, or you can do the bent over version where you're kind of unsupported, you have a tight core, you hinge your hips back, and you kind of are right under your body or right under your shoulder with the weight. And we're just keeping that elbow along the side of our body and pulling backwards, but not twisting my trunk of my body up at all. We're using my scapular muscles to retract. We're going to do 10. Now, I said this was an active recovery workout, and it is, but we are focusing on some things that maybe you're not going to hit in your normal workout routine. So again, this shouldn't be too taxing, especially if you're not overloading the weight. You're going at a moderate pace. But we're focusing on some areas that even a full, robust strength training program might not hit, like some of your rotator cuff muscles we'll focus on a little bit later. So again, we're gonna get to 10. We're gonna switch sides. Again, hinge those hips back. You should be pretty broad-chested. And you're just gonna pull that elbow along the side of your body. And a little bit of a pause at the top. Nice and easy. Continue to breathe. Good. So the next, we're going to go back to another leg mobility exercise. We're going to do some assisted side lunges. So similar to the squat, we're going to pause for a little bit of time at the bottom. Again, we're going to get something with a nice anchor. I prefer, again, a rope or a strap. That's not going to have any leeway, and if I pull it, it shouldn't stretch. All right, I'm going to start shoulder width apart, and I'm going to alternate kind of side lunging using that anchor to kind of get sideways. And I want to have my chest stay up, but I do want to feel a little bit of a stretch on the insides of my thighs. So again, I'm nice and tall when I'm in my down position. I should feel a stretch kind of in my left leg here, and when I'm over on this side, on my right leg. And we're just going to do 5 on each side here. Again, kind of engage in how your body is feeling. So if any of these are really giving you a problem with any of your joints, that's just a sign that maybe I need to get things checked out. I should see a physical therapist because maybe my body isn't moving in the correct way. So the next exercise I'm going to do, we're going to do a little core activation. So for the most part, as an American population, we don't do enough core work. But if you are doing fitness, if you've gotten into a fitness routine, I guarantee your core is a little stronger than you think. So you should be able to do some kind of core exercise every day if you really wanted to. It's really tough because your core is constantly activated and is supporting everything you do from day-to-day tasks. So it's really hard to outwork your core to the point where it's really overtrained. So even on our active off day, we're gonna do some core activation exercise. It's not like we're gonna do a ton of crunches, but we're just gonna do one exercise to address that area and tell that core to wake up a little bit. And the exercise we're going to do is the dead bug. So you're going to lie on the ground. We're going to start with the normal version of the exercise, and I'll show you some modifiers if it's too difficult to do. So you're going to start with shoulders kind of pinned to the ground, and you're going to lift your feet into the air so that your legs are at a 90 degree angle at your knees and at 90 degree angles at your hip. You're going to have your arms perpendicular to the ground, and you're going to take one arm opposite of the other leg. So in this case, I'm going to use my right arm and my left leg, and we're going to come down and hold and come back up. And now I'm going to go left arm, right leg. I'm going to go down and hold and come back up. Down and hold, come back up. Down and hold and come back up. Okay. So if you try that and that's easy enough, you're going to do 5 on each side. If you find that that's really difficult, and that you have to drop your arm or your leg in order to balance yourself, start with So the easiest way to do the exercise is you plant your feet on the ground and you just put your arms in the air, and then you start with one arm and you hold. Now you're not going to get a ton of core activation with this, but if this is the point that you're at, that's fine. You got to start somewhere. If you're going to increase the difficulty from there, you plant your arms on the ground or perpendicular, depending on what feels comfortable. You're going to lift your legs in the air, and we're just going to do the leg portion of the exercise, where you're going down, hold, come back up, down, hold, and come back up, down, hold, and come back up, and you continue from there until you can progress to the point where your arms and legs are in the air and you can cross those two movements together. All right, so we've done our core activation exercise. The next thing we're going to work on, we're going to do some internal and external rotation. I'm going to use a TheraBand, but you just need a stretchy exercise band or some exercise tubing, and you're going to put it around a door or anchor point, or if you have a pole in your basement, or some kind of beam that you can use. But you're going to give a little bit of tension in the band. We're going to start with external rotation. The cue I like for this is that your elbow really should be glued to the side of your body. You want to start with your fist or whatever hand you're holding at your belly button. And if it helps to put a washcloth or a towel underneath your arm here to pinch at your side to give you the cue that this really shouldn't happen. You should never kind of wing out and pull. That can cause more problems than it's going to help. So I really want to keep glued to my side. A little tension in the band to start. Hand at my belly button, and we're just going to come out to maybe just past 90 degrees from my arm to my body. Okay. We don't need to go out too much farther than that. Right here, we're working on some rotator cuff strength. It doesn't need to be super heavy for you to get benefit out of this. You go to any physical or occupational therapist, most people are all gonna, if you have any pain in your upper trap, it could be because you have weak scapular muscles and you're using the wrong muscles to do daily tasks, and that could be leading to your pain. So even if you're healthy, it's great to make sure that that musculature in your back is helping you do your daily tasks. And you can do that by constantly adding in ways to strengthen those muscles. Again, so I would go through 15 of these, and then I would switch and do the other side, but I'm not going to do the other side because I'm going to have to face away from you. So we're going to go right from external rotation, so I'm bringing my arm away from my body, from starting with my arm away from my body and going in towards my belly button, and this is internal rotation. But same kind of rules apply. We're going to start from our 90-degree angle from our body, and we're going to come in so that there's the max amount of tension that we're going to have in the band when our fist gets to our belly button. So we're just going to pull in, and again, same thing with this one. There should not be a lot of room in between your arm and your body. You should keep that elbow pretty pinned into your body. And again, washcloth or towel, great way to pin that in there to tell you that, hey, I've got to keep that arm real close so that I'm using the right muscles. I want to make sure that my shoulder stays down and I don't come up to my ear with my shoulder at all. We want to take away some of that shrugging motion that forces us into bad posture that we already are contributing to by sitting at desks all day and not being active enough. So again, we're going to get through 15 of these, and then I would switch sides and do my right side in this case. Make sure we're doing both sides. Get through 10 to 15 of these ones, and we can call that round okay. Last two exercises, we're going to work on getting our trunk moving, getting our thoracic spine to move a little bit, separate our upper body from our lower body a bit, making sure that we can get through those twisting motions that we might encounter in the real world, and that our body's going to adjust to that appropriately. So I'm going to start on the ground. You're going to get in this position if you can, kind of sitting back a little bit. If this is uncomfortable, you can do this standing up at a desk or an island in your kitchen or a counter in your kitchen. You just have to make sure that during this portion of the exercise that my hips aren't moving with my upper body. When they're down here, it's pretty hard to move your hips or twist your hips because they're kind of pinned down here. And we're going to place one hand in front of our knees and our other hand on the back of our head. We're going to look towards our elbow, and the elbow is going to go towards the ceiling. And I'm only going as far as feels comfortable. There's no need to push farther than is comfortable. The motion by itself will eventually free you up, allow you to go a little further. We're just going to do 10 on there. And then we're going to do the other side. So again, my right hand this time is going to go in front. My left hand is going to go on the back of my head. I'm going to look towards my elbow. My elbow is going to go towards the ceiling. So again, 10 on each side. If that's painful, just don't go as far. Just get as much of that motion in as you can. For the last one, we're going to work on kind of our lower body rotating around our upper body. We're going to lay back down in this position. We're going to get our arms out to the side to anchor us. We're going to get back into that 90-90 position we were in for the dead bugs. And we're just going to go side to side. So letting our knees fall to the ground. We're going to go 5 on each side. If this version of this exercise is painful or difficult at all, or you're getting too much stretch anywhere, you can always plant your feet on the ground and you can go side to side like this. And that's a little bit easier. There's not as much weight you're trying to control. So if your core is a little weak yet and you can't do that movement comfortably, feel free to do this exercise. We're still getting the benefit of rotating our trunk around. Once we've gotten comfortable with our feet planted, we can keep our feet together on the ground and go back and forth until we can progress again to that 90-90 position. All right, so that's all for today. I'd recommend going through that circuit 2 times on your off days, just to make sure that we are getting still a little bit of a workout, but that was nothing that should be too taxing. And it'll tell your body to turn on. So if you do that in the morning, it's a good way to start your day and get your body to say, I'm ready for anything that it throws at it. And even though you might be sore from the day before, You've still gotten something done. You've still been active. You've still turned on those processes in your body that say, I'm ready to do physical activity for today, and keep you on track for your fitness goals. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.